Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. And if you are new, welcome. I'm Celeste, a 26-year-old South African, and this is Planning with Co. So on this channel, you will find budgeting and planning videos to elevate my life by managing my time and money appropriately. So if you are interested, join me on this journey of creating an intentional life by ensuring that we're using our time and our money appropriately. Okay, so in this video, we are going to do our February monthly closeout video where I will show how I have done in this month based on what I have budgeted for, what I actually spent, and what was the difference, of course, and did I stay within my budget or was I not in my budget? Alright, so let's start. So for income, as I said before, I am not disclosing at the moment how much I get paid, but I am planning in a future video to disclose this, because I feel like it would just make sense to disclose it. I'm not being forced to do it, of course, or not to do it. It's just in South Africa, people are always almost like, can say, not confident to say what they get paid, and it's always like a secret. I don't know why. I still don't know why. So for now, I'm not gonna disclose it, but just know if we calculate everything for the month, which is that which we budgeted for, which was 20,034 rand, it's close to what I get paid, or what I get out after all the other stuff is deducted. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this 450 because that is what I got for my side hustle. So that was a total of 450. So the actual was also 450, and there was no difference. Okay, now let's look at bank fees. So for this month, the bank fees was actually 247 and 67 cents, which is 247.67 rand, which is obviously more than what I have budgeted for. And that is because there was lots of, like I said, payments that was done, transfers between accounts, as well as because of the wedding, the baby shower, and that people paid me or I had to pay them, planning and stuff. So there was lots of immediate payment fees that went down, which is not always the case. So the difference therefore was, if we calculate that, I have to use my mom's phone now to calculate for a calculator, because I haven't found my calculator yet since my last video. So it is this is what we budgeted for, 185 minus 247.67, and that gives me a total of 62 rand and 67 cents. So we spent 62.67 rand more than what we have budgeted for. Then for phone bill, so phone bill is the same, so that is what we paid. So it was 210 rand. Home was 2,250, so there was no difference for those two. Vitality and gym was 559 rand, so there was also no difference, which is good. The fiber was 300 rand for the previous month, for end of Jan. So we got the invoice for February, and it is 250 for me and then 250 for my brother, who gives the other half, which is then 500 in total. So we did come down. Then lastly, Netflix was 199, which is basically the same. So I'm not gonna say there's a huge difference. It's literally 199. So if we calculate that, so it's 247.67 plus 210, 2250, 559, 300 and 199. So that gives me a total of 3,765.67. So obviously the difference here is the 62 rand, 62.67. So we were out with 62.67. Okay, so that's for fixed expenses. It's not that bad. If you look at the totals, it's only a 60 something rand for fixed expenses that were above the projected budget. So 62 more than what we have budgeted for. Now if we get to our variable expenses, the one that is usually the most out, and that is your variable expenses for me, obviously. So I did budget this amount for February, but I was definitely out of budget. So we're gonna look at how much out of budget I was. So for airtime, the airtime story, guys. So like I said in the previous video, for those who haven't watched that one, I have a not a phone contract, but a data plan. So I pay 95 rand for 15 gigs, which is 5 for video, 5 for anytime data, and 5 for night data, which actually I can use it for an entire month. It's usually the last week where my anytime data is finished. We do have Wi-Fi at home, which helps, but if I'm not at home, I usually have Wi-Fi or data. So that is that 210. So it's the 95 plus the subscriptions, which is 115 rand. So this 90 rand is mainly for like WhatsApp, which takes a lot of data nowadays. So for a WhatsApp bundle, and then for calls, to make calls, right? And I try to always budget 90 rand, but for some reason I go over budget almost every month, and I'm gonna try again this month just to ensure that I keep with this 90 rand, because I feel like I already have 95 for data. I don't need more than 90 for airtime because I don't really call people a lot. So I actually spend 113, so 113 rand on airtime. Then eating out, I spend 200 rand on eating out. So this was, remember when I budgeted for the wedding or the bridal shower, I totally forgot that we are gonna eat out for the bridal shower while the morning event was a breakfast, and I totally forgot about it, which is normal, I guess. Sometimes you do forget, and that is why it's important to have a buffer or have like a mini emergency saving for when you go out of your budget. So that was that 200 rand. Then groceries was also over budget with 130 rand. So it's 1130. Oh, I totally forgot to calculate this. So sorry, man. So for airtime, I spent 113 for airtime. So that is a total of, 113 minus 90. So I went over with 23 rand. Then obviously eating out, I went over with 200 rand because I budgeted zero for some. I budgeted zero because I knew of all these events happening. So I thought there won't be eating out happening this month. But then I totally forgot about the wedding bridal breakfast. And that's that 200 rand. Then, sorry, this is wrong. So it's 1,000. Oh, it's 1,130 rand. So I was over with 130. Then petrol or parking, again, because we had so many things, or I had so many things to do this month, I did budget more than usual for petrol, but then I still went over with a few rands. So I ended up spending 1,800 rand on petrol, which is 85 rand over budget. So this 85 is also parking, because I know I don't split the parking here, but I know I budgeted 15 rand for parking, but I think I spent like 20 rand on parking, so that's also part of that 85 rand. Then personal got nothing, and I did get nothing, but I mean, it was a busy month. Toiletries, oh my goodness. So for toiletries, let's just say when you go into Clicks now, something happens. You see things that you don't need, but you convince yourself in a few seconds that you need to buy it. So at Clicks, so obviously I budgeted for 50, but I overspent way too much. Let's rather use that word. So I went the first weekend after getting paid to get the normal stuff, and then I went again, but then I bought, I think it's the cuticle cutter, but I thought the cuticle cutter, because the price tag said like 50 something at Clicks, and it was actually 90 rand. And then I got hair products, because obviously I ran out of that, and me and my mother actually use it together, so we throw money together for hair products. And I can't remember what the other thing was, but let's get to the total. So I actually spent 768 rand on toiletries, guys. Can you believe it? So that's a total of, so 768 minus 450, so I went over with 318 rand on toiletries. So as you can see, with variable expenses, I went over for each and every one for this month, except myself personal. But it's okay. Like for me, it's more like as long as there's money that I can put back, or that I owe myself, or that I owe the saving, I can put it back the next month. Sorry, I am okay with it. But the goal is to always stay within your budget, and that is the goal. So that is what I will be working on for the next month, setting realistic amounts, so to ensure that you don't go too much over budget. So if you count all of these actuals up, it's 103 plus 200, 1,130, 1,800 plus 768, that comes to a total of a whopping 4,011 rand. So if you deduct 411 from 3,255, which was the budgeted amount, it comes to 756 rand that I went over budget. So that's quite an amount, because it's close to 1,000, which now makes me a bit, not happy. But we will work on this. This is a journey. We all are trying to get better at managing our money, and I know it will work. It will take time, and it will take practice, so I'm not going to stress a lot about that. So now for the extras. Like I said, with extras, this is not always the case every single month. This is now extra stuff that comes into the budget. So for wedding, the budgeted amount was 1,300 rand, and we spent more than that. So we spent 1,600, so it was over with 300, and that's okay. What happened was we had to do that last minute shopping for the wedding, and that is why it went a bit over. Baby shower was over as well. This now happens when you don't budget enough, right? So baby shower went over with 172 rand. This was extra cake that I got last minute also. And then lastly, it's the birthday, which again was over budget. This is not my birthday, this is for my cousin's birthday, so that is what I budgeted for, but I actually spent $550, which is, I mean, for me is totally fine. It was her 21st birthday and she's such a special woman and she's very gifted, very talented, so for me giving her an extra amount to spend and not spend, to save and spend for whatever project she's working on, I don't give a damn. Or I do, but I care for her, so that is nothing. So that's obviously over with 200. So now if we calculate that, it is 1,600 rand plus 922 plus 550, and that comes to 3,072 rand, and that means we were over with 672. So that's what we were over with. So you can see it started small and then it just went bigger, but that's okay. Next month I believe it would be much better, and I really hope that you can see properly what I'm doing in the video. For debt, this was 500, so there was no difference. So this was 500 and we paid the 500. Then for savings, also no difference, even though I went over with I don't know how much at the moment, but a lot. I still managed to save 10,160 rand, which for me is important, so that I don't take from this when I overspend in the other categories. That's why I'm saying having a buffer or miscellaneous money that will do its work eventually is important. So I did save 9,000 rand for long-term savings, 910 for sinking funds. So if you haven't seen my sinking funds video for February, you can go check it out, which is where I stuffed the 910 rand and 250 for business. So there was no difference. Between the actual and the budgeted amount. So now if we total everything up or bring everything down, so if we calculate all of those things, everything together, it comes to it comes to 21,508.67. So that is how I spent my money for the month of February. I hope you guys had a wonderful Valentine's Day, had other celebrations as well in this month, had a beautiful month. I had a very blessed month because of all these events within our family, and everything went smoothly. It was just a very wonderful month. And for the budget, not so much, but I haven't calculated the difference between what we actually spent versus what we budgeted for. We'll get to that number right now, but just for that, this is a journey for me, so I'm not too hard on myself. I just make sure that it makes sense in my head and continue to improve, continue to make better decisions. So that is the goal for March. So let's calculate how much I actually spend, the difference between actually and budgeted. So it was 21,508.67. Guys, just know I sometimes say the numbers different than what is in my head. So it's 21,508 rand and 67 cents minus 20,034 rand. So I overspent with 1,474 rand and 67 cents. So that is more than what I have actually budgeted for, the amount more. So yeah, so that's the end of this video, this month's writing it out like this definitely makes it much better, and it makes you like it opens up your mind to obviously figure out where you are making the mistakes basically, and how we can improve it for the next month. So in the next video you will have the March monthly budget, and as I said earlier, I will be doing weekly check-ins, sinking funds update, and stuffing my sinking funds and my cash, my wallet, and that is exciting for me. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and watch my older videos if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video. Before I go, just remember again, I'm Celeste and this is Planning with Co. Bye.